Alright, so this is kind of the first full video with my face in it. If you think I'm ugly, you can be honest. That sentence ended a long time ago. So, I figured I would just record a video kind of about myself. So this is what I look like. Like, pretty much self-explanatory, but like, I want to record a video that's kind of close to home, even though I'm already in my house, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to kind of show you something that's important to me, and one of those things is my Green Day collection. Green Day is, in case you didn't know, it's primarily a 90s punk band that carried its success into the 2000s and dropped into obscurity in the 2010s. So I really like them. My mom got me into them a couple years ago. I borrowed her old copy of their not their debut album, but their breakout album, Dookie. And I'll explain that in a minute. But for now, let's just start at the very beginning. And the first project I have of theirs is 1039 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours. Now, this is technically a compilation album. This is not their first album. It's heavily based off their first album. So it's actually a combo. Like, it's actually, what's the word here? It's actually a compilation of all their stuff from before their second album. So their first album is on here. It's called 39 Smooth, right? And I believe tracks 1 through 10, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Here, it says inside here. Yeah, tracks 1 through 10 are from 39 Smooth, which that is their first full-length album. But before that, and around that time, they were releasing EPs. So, there's other songs from their EP named Slappy and 1000 Hours. I don't know who named these. Who named their EP Slappy? Billy Joe Armstrong did that too. Anyway, and then there's a bonus song from like a soundtrack or something. Either way, you know, it is the closest I'm gonna get to owning those old Green Day songs from like the late 80s or early 90s. It's the closest I'm gonna get to owning original stuff from there for probably a few years, because they released this was originally a vinyl. It did not release on CD originally. This was a later release, so I could get the vinyl, whether it be the re-releases or the original. I don't have that kind of budget at this current time, so let's just hope I get that eventually. And then I've got their next albums. I should say albums, because I've got like almost all of them. Their next one's Kerplunk. This released in 1992. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, by the way. I actually thought this was 1991 for a while. I believe it's 1992. So, you know, we've got Kerplunk here on CD. And then we've got their breakout album. This is Dookie. This is not an original release, though, which I'm sad about. I want the original release as well. So here, actually, I've got my friend's copy because he loaned it to me. I need to give it back still. But the original release, if you can see, had Ernie on the back from Sesame Street, like the literal Sesame Street character Ernie had him on the back. But on the later release, which I know this is a later release because my parents got me this like brand new a couple years ago, there is no Ernie. They took it off for whatever reason. And still, I believe it was never like confirmed why they did it. But there's a few, ideas out there. But I'm trying to get myself an original copy. It's not much more expensive. I just, haven't gotten a chance to. But I've got this copy, which I'm glad I at least have the CD. Yeah. And then next, I've got the song Basket Case. It's a single on CD. And it's got like a few B-sides. The B-sides are like live tracks. I got a live performance from that time. So, you know, I kind of got this because I like the song. I want to collect the singles and the B-sides, like, separately. So this song is from Dookie. You know, you probably know the song at this point. Um, but, you know, it's one of the singles. And then I got the 30th anniversary release of Dookie, which, like, you know, say what you will about re-releases of, like, you know, like, oh, they're cash grabs, whatever. I still wanted it. Like, I genuinely wanted it. So, you know, I kind of got this. I got it for the demos and the live performance albums. You know, I thought this was a really cool thing, so I got it. And then, next is finally their next album, Insomniac. This released in 1995. Dookie released in 1994, by the way. But this is their next album, Insomniac. It's kind of a sister album to Dookie. They're pretty similar, but this one's a lot darker and edgier, as people like to call it, but that's kind of what it is. They're both very quality albums, in my opinion. And then next is actually, by the way, all of these have been a fan favorite, pretty much, except for 1039, or we're just going to call it Sosh. Smoothed out slappy hours, we're going to call it Sosh. But, yeah, Kerplunk, Dookie, and Insomniac all tend to be fan favorites from my, experience. This one is too. It's, Nimrod. If you listen to music, if you listen to a punk from that area, you might, or era, you might, know some of these albums, but I'm explaining this as if you don't. But, this is their 1997 album, so, you know, they took 2 years. They made this album. It's considered one of their best. It's not one of my favorites, personally. I like the album. I'm not gonna say it's not quality, but it's not one I typically listen to a whole lot. But, you know, you can tell me which ones are your favorite Green Day albums if you have favorites. I would be happy to hear your opinions and maybe give my feedback on them. I'll be respectful, though, don't worry. And then next, I have the Good Riddance single, or Good Riddance Time of Your Life. It's from Nimrod. So I got the single, like I did Basket Case. I got the single because there's B-sides. Honestly, this one I got all the singles I have. I got in an eBay bundle. Some guy was selling 3 of these for the price of like the one I wanted. So I just, you know, got the bundle. Whatever. You know, I had fun. I have fun with these CDs. This isn't one I was gonna actively seeking out, but I'm glad I have it. And then next is the Nimrod 25th Anniversary Edition. And once again, I just kind of wanted demos and stuff. I thought it was really cool. I do enjoy a good demo track. I think they're fun to listen to. So I did get that. And the next is their 2000 album, as in a year from the, or an album from the year 2000, if that sounds weird. But yeah, this released in 2000. It's called Warning. Here it is. This one's a weird one. It's different from like every other Green Day album, pretty much. I still enjoy the album though. I do. This one's actually a special edition thing. Actually, I think it's, if I'm not wrong, I believe this came from Australia. Like, this was an Australian pressing. I don't know. I might have to do a little bit of research on it and make it a separate video. But, like, yeah, this is from, I think, a different country. It's got a bonus track on here. It's got a bonus, like, live track from Insomniac, which I didn't have that song, like, the live version of it. So I got this one for a few dollars more so I could get the extra song. And the next is their first greatest hits collection, which their greatest hits collections are kind of weird. I'll explain that in a separate video. But yeah, this one's called International Super Hits. I got it because A, I'm a collector, as you can tell, and B, it had a few bonus songs I didn't have. Can you see a reoccurring theme? I like to collect the bonus songs. But yeah, I picked this up for a couple dollars, and I'm glad I did. It's just their greatest hits collection, even though I already had their albums from that era, from the era. this was released, of course, just thought I'd get it. The next is their B-side compilation. So essentially, you know how I was talking about the singles from earlier? Well, not from the Dookie, or not from the Basket Case single, but from the Time of Your Life single. There are some songs on there, all the B-sides on there were put on here. That's what a B-side collection is. It collects a bunch of B-sides from singles. And I didn't know that at the time. I just got this thinking it was a different Green Day album. Oh, my bad. I found out later that this is a B-side collection. It's pretty cool. I do enjoy the songs on here. It's pretty fun. And then, yeah, you might know this one, American Idiot. Ever heard of it? Yeah, it's like one of the most popular albums of the 2000s. It's considered one of the best albums from my research. It's a very good album. I can't lie. I really like this album. It's also, I want to make a point to say it is a concept album, meaning it does follow a story. I like it. And then next is the American Idiot single, so there's a song on there called American Idiot, of course. And then here's the single. There's 3 different versions. 3. Do you think that's a little excessive? Anyway, this is one of them. It's the Too Much Too Soon edition. Meaning that it has the B-side Too Much Too Soon. But yeah, that's what the single is. The next is now it's pretty straightforward from here. Here is their album 21st Century Breakdown. It followed up American Idiot 5 years later, which is pretty wild. It's also, believe it or not, a concept album. I do want to make a point to say I got like a reoccurring theme here. Bonus tracks! Yeah, so it came with a separate disc. It's a disc, it's a live performance. It's songs from American Idiot. It was, I believe, I believe this was a recording from 2005 that they performed live in Tokyo. So when I saw this on eBay, I was trying to get 21st Century Breakdown, and then I was like, the live edition, or the version with the live tracks, that's awesome, so I got it. Yeah, I get a lot of obscure stuff, but I like it. And the next is Uno. It's part of their trilogy, Uno Dos Tre. Their drummer is called Tré Cool. That's his name, Tré. So they said, well, what about a trilogy? Uno Dos Tre, instead of the actual Spanish word. Honestly, it's kind of funny if you know the story, to me. It's funny in a dad joke way, but it's still pretty funny to me. But I've got 2 versions of Uno. You may be saying, what bonus tracks now? Yeah, so a few years ago, I found this. I didn't know it was the censored version, and so I got it, thinking it was, just a normal Green Day album. It was the censored version, yes. But the funny thing is, it's a Walmart exclusive version as well, so it comes with, Angry Birds promos? I don't even know why. They teamed up with Angry Birds. That seems like a very unlikely duo, Angry Birds and Green Day, but they did it. It was pretty fun. And then I later got the version that isn't censored. So I've got the explicit version and the clean version. And I just kept the clean version because I've had it for a while. I was just like, whatever, I'll keep it. Spare version of, a spare version of Uno. And then here's Tré. I'm missing Dos. It's the only studio album I'm missing, Dos is, so I want to get it soon. But here's Tré. It's the explicit version. Had to seek it out. I didn't want to repeat Uno. And funny story, I actually found Dos at a secondhand music store once. It was the censored version. I was so sad that it was. So I didn't get it because it was $8, and I didn't want to spend $8 on a version that I'm immediately going to have to rebuy. Just to listen to it a few days earlier? No. So, yeah, here's Tré. And then, I believe around that era, Billie Joe Armstrong, their singer, made this album, Foreverly, Billie Joe plus Nora. which, if I'm not mistaken, Nora is Nora Jones. I believe that's what her name was. Yeah, Nora Jones. They kind of did this album. It's a long story. I'll explain it in another video. I don't feel like it. It's already a 15-minute video. Gosh. So this is kind of a side project. Like, this doesn't include their Green Day's other members. It's just Billie Joe and Nora. And then next, they're just their studio albums. Revolution Radio. Father of All. This one's very... nobody likes that one. And then Saviors. That's the CDs! Now, wait till you see the records. Hold on. Okay. Do you want to see the records? Do you? Come on, you want to see the records. You want to see the records. Too bad. You don't get to see them. Okay, in all seriousness, you get to see the records. I don't think you're very happy about that. I think you were hoping this video was almost over. So we'll just pull them off the shelf as we see fit. Here's Kerplunk. This is a 2008 reissue. I found it at a record store for like $30. It actually went for $70. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I don't want this album right now. I can get it later. Yeah, it turns out this album is actually pretty rare, so I decided to get it so I could actually listen to it. So yeah, you got the record, of course, just the standard record. But you know, the only reason I'm going so in depth with Kerplunk is because it comes with a separate EP. This is a 45 RPM record. It's slappy. Or no, shoot, this isn't slappy. This is Sweet Children. It's got a picture of Mike Dirnt's leg on it. Hey, if it's got Mike Dirnt's leg, I'll buy it. It's Mike Dirnt. Who hates Mike Dirnt? Nobody. That's exactly. Mike Dirnt's awesome. He's the bassist. He's a really good bassist. In my opinion. I just like what he did with Green Day. But yeah, this is like one of their early albums, if you remember. Yeah, I'm glad to have it. I try to take good care of it because it's not easily replaceable. Of course, I try to take good care of all my records, but especially this one because it's very hard to replace. Yeah, speaking of taking good care of them, that's okay. I think I dog-eared the corner a little bit, but you know, I think it was already there as well. Shoot, I just tripped over a broken boombox. Here's Dookie. This is a reissue. It doesn't have Ernie. You want to see Ernie? Too bad. He's not on there. Yes, this is like I believe a 2008 reissue as well of Dookie. And then I'm missing Insomniac and Nimrod. Next we've got Warning. I got this in Ohio. I don't know. It's Warning, so I'm glad I have it. And then American Idiot. I don't know what happened to this thing. It doesn't sound very good. Like the quality of this record, it's pretty bad. It doesn't sound good. But I'm glad I at least have it because, you know, it's one of my favorite albums by them. Or at all, to be honest. And then I've got 21st Century Breakdown. And by the way, American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown on vinyl are double albums, meaning it has two, well, I believe that's the term. It's got to have two records to fit everything the way it should, so, yeah. And then here, I'm missing the trilogy because it's actually very rare on vinyl, and I'm missing Revolution Radio. But here we've got their second Greatest Hits compilation, which, okay, so the first and the second one share some songs, some were taken out, and then since this is a lot later on than the first compilation, International Super Hits, it's got also newer songs on it. It's complicated. Once again, I'll make my own video, or make a video about it. But, you know, I've got that. And then I've got Father of All. This is one of my more listened to albums, honestly. I really like it. If I'm going a little fast, it's because I am. I'm trying to get this over with. I didn't know it'd turn into this, like, 20-minute endeavor. And then we've got Saviors. There's a lot. So, essentially, they released a bunch of different colors of Saviors back when it was, when pre-orders were available. Sorry, my records fell. So we'll just start with the one I actually listened to. Is this the one I listened to? Yes. So this is the deluxe edition. It's just on a thicker record, so it sounds better, more durable. I'm not sure exactly what 180 gram means, but whatever it is, it's this. It folds out. This is the one I listened to. This is just the one I bought to listen to. And then there's the colored ones. So then there's this one. It's the Hot Pink Galaxy is what it's called. Like the specific color of it, that's what it's called. It's limited to 2,000 copies. I got these because I'm a collector. And I know they're going to be uncommon and somewhat valuable someday, but I want this piece in my collection because this is actually, I want these pieces in my collection because this is actually really cool. I don't actually intend on selling them, to be honest. And then there's Blue Jay Opaque Marble Vinyl, is what it's called. It's limited to 5,000. This one my friend got me for my birthday. Or he pre-ordered it for me, which I... Thanks! Then there's the black, white, and hot pink one. This was like the last one they released. It's limited to 3,500 copies. I bought this one myself. And then there's this one. This was limited to record stores. You had to go to a record store during the time of the listening party, which it was a thing. It was a week before the album released. And they let you, they played it over the record store speakers, and you were able to listen to it before the rest of the world did. So we went to that, and I pre-ordered another copy of Saviors. This one I might open. I'm not sure yet. I still haven't made a decision. It's been 2 months and I haven't made that decision yet. But, that's the Green Day stuff. Wait, there's clothing. There's merchandise. Okay, so here is a hoodie. It's a reproduction, released by Green Day, but it's got some warning graphics on it from the album Warning. And then I've got an American Idiot hoodie. My girlfriend has that, but you can imagine what it looks like. And then I've got some t-shirts. Got the Uno Dos Tres shirt. I actually like the trilogy, unlike most. But yes, I got the Uno Dos Tres shirt on eBay a couple months ago, honestly. I have no shame in getting old shirts on eBay if they're cool shirts. You may be saying, why are you shopping for clothes on eBay? Because I wanted to, sir. Then I've got an American Idiot shirt. You can imagine what that looks like. And then I've got 2 Savior shirts down here. There's one. I bought the same shirt twice. So one wouldn't wear out too quick. I've worn this once. So but honestly, it's a pretty neat design. I like it. Thought I'd get some Saviors merch while I was waiting for it to release. That's the end, unless I find something out. No, there's an American Idiot poster. It hasn't been hung yet, so, not much I can do about that. Actually, there is more stuff. Still! Oh my gosh, I know! I'm sorry, if you've watched this, you're a true fan. Comment breadstick if, you got this far. I don't know why I said breadstick, but it's the first word that came to mind. I haven't had breadstick in, the breadsticks in, 3 months. I got this poster from the listening party? Yeah, I got this from there. So we put it in a frame, and we haven't gotten a chance to hang it yet, which I really want to. I like the poster. I like the design on it. And then there was, a pin, a shirt pin you got at the listening party. It's a Saviors pin. It's cool. And then you got special lyric books. For all the songs on Saviors. I'm just really glad I got all this stuff because, I love Green Day, and I'm excited to look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, I remember when Saviors were released. I got vinyls. Spent a lot of money on Saviors. I am broke still. 2 months later. A lot of impulse purchases as far as records. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Die! I was talking to my records. Yeah, have fun. Have a nice day or week, whenever you're watching this. I'm not going to do the YouTuber thing. Bye.